all of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Shit. I kind of get one here.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me, one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, well, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah,
oh, because,
I was gonna ask you that.
Because in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing...
You will tell it?
No, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that, I value that, I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. And they'll just go out and they'll lie. The industry doesn't mess with Katt because he didn't show up for the studio. No studios have ever said that. Look at my IMDb. It will show you that no studio has ever lost money with me on the script. How? That's why I'm saying, that's why I can't let Ricky Smiley say he was supposed to play Money Mike. Because I wrote the words for Money Mike. I designed the hair for Money Mike. I collaborated with the wardrobe department and made outfits to make sure that no one in America would be wearing what Money Mike was wearing. I told them to go get the Prowler. I then told them to paint it purple. I told them don't have an actor playing a pimp. We could get an actual pimp, Archbishop Magic Don Juan to play. Like, I did far too much work for somebody to come years later and try to tag along just for their own self-aggrandizement.
Why didn't Cube set the record straight? Terry Crews could have set the record straight. Mike Epps could have set the record straight. Why none of them set the record straight?
That's what you were supposed to ask him when he told you those lies that no one's ever heard. Lie. Right, but he's telling you something no one's ever heard of. Nobody has ever heard, oh, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon was in a movie and somebody said, y'all should switch roles. Like, this is a business.
But that's the thing, Katt. Normally when people will give you information, I'm thinking I'm hearing it for the first time and they're giving information no one else knows or have ever heard. So I'm taking them at face value.
These are like, this is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her. Then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made... All lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. Why do you think Gary Owen can't cross over and he already white and been in comedy for 25 years? If what I say ain't the case. It's a cabal. It's a consortium. They rock with who they rock with and they don't with who they don't. But I'm not scared of being the competition any more than you were when you lined up across from a superior team. Yeah, on paper, they're a better team.
Right.
They have all the assets and resources and we don't. But let us get on the line, boy, and see if that factors in. I guarantee you it won't.
Wow.
Because Shannon Sharpe got to be a different person than that other person.
Absolutely.
And he always was. That doesn't change when I change teams. That remains the same. That's how a legacy is built. So all of these shortcut takers, they canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there. Woo. Huh.
So you wonder what they did to get there?
I told him no. What y'all do? And this is why when I walk in a room, heads go down. Behind my back, I'm nothing. I'm just a regular old comedian that's bitter and jealous. But in my face, no. The king has walked in and they have to respect it only because I've not taken the shortcuts. I've not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that nigga's part. What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? So on the behalf of Bernie, I would have to say what I have to say.
Have you ever been on tour with any of these guys?
Every guy I mentioned to you is not funny out there in real life. So no. Faison's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that. Like, you gotta be doing karaoke around the country to make that work.
Right.
And he is. But I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my 19th 100-city tour. I'm not gonna have a conversation with these lazy bums that'll take a shortcut at any point. Yes, it's easier for you to juice than to get in the gym, but you don't get to bring that body in here talking crazy.
Talk about how good you look.
What? No, there's too many comics out there that are putting their life on the line to tell these jokes, man.
Okay. Let's get to your upbringing. We're gonna circle back and we'll get some,
I want to protect him real quick, because you had said for the Kings of Comedy, it was in 2018, 2019, but did you mean 1999? Because it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
No. So what I meant to say was, remember, he said I couldn't do stand-up anymore. I had 7 TV shows. I said he didn't have any of those TV shows at the time.
I know you talking about Cedric.
Joke stealing from Cedric.
Cedric.
Okay,
So you had said that 2018, 2019, but it came out in 2000, so I just want to make sure.
Okay, no. What comes out in 2000?
The original Kings of Comedy.
Right. I'm on BET's Comic View, and they're using this as the commercial in 1998. Okay. That's why I'm saying, yeah. So if I said the dates wrong, So
let's go back and clear that up.
Okay.
You said, I had Cedric on here, and I asked him about the joke stealing, and he said the timeline doesn't add up.
Correct.
To that point, you say.
Right. So he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke.
Right.
And this joke is one of those jokes in comedy where you set it up and it takes a little longer to set it up, takes about 3 minutes, but then you're just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up.
Right.
Mark Curry had already helped me work on this joke because I thought it was good because I was getting a standing ovation on it. He had me go back in the lab and help me craft it to be an even more powerful joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy. And he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship. Him and Steve had already apologized for me, so I gave him a pass for a decade. Why would you sit here and be like, I saw Katt 30 times, and Katt didn't do, as I stand before you, Shannon. I would have bust Cedric's stomach. There was nothing that would have kept me from one of these in that patch right there. Like, are you kidding me? Why would you downplay me like that? Why did I give you a pass if you were just gonna lie? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're all a group. Cedric, Steve, Ricky, they've been a group. Everybody knows that. They've been aligned. And there are these alliances in comedy. And if you stand against them, then they sometimes have a problem. But we don't let that change the content because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Katt, I need another one. You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Come on.
Because early on you was accusing me of being...
Katt, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because I'm favored by God. Like, when I see people's wives and stuff, I don't even look at them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to look at nothing I don't want to have. Because I know how blessed I am. If I look at it, I got it. That's how Diddy be feeling.
Come on, man. So, you're not supposed to look at anything that you don't want.
Not me personally, just because God has given me literally everything I ever even pump faked like I want. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing is I don't have a type of woman. Every woman that I ever had as a type, I ended up getting her. Now she's not the type anymore. Now I understand that every woman is a one of one. Like, you can't really have types. Mm-hmm.
Then you have to go back to when there was the Derek Jeter diamond. That's what my track record's like. But Derek Jeter gets a segment on ESPN where they have his dating history in the. Let me finish though.
No, I ain't saying nothing, Brittany. I'm just
thinking it.
I pray.
You were thinking it.
I'll get some water because I'm sweating in here.
Because my dating pool is, I mean, my
Expansive.
God, impressive, expansive. I've had sex with 35 guys. Okay.
Whew. Oh Lord.
Impressive isn't
Woo.
the word. So if I'm judged for
Anybody else need a shot of this?
if I'm judged for having great taste,
We are in a bar, so help yourself. We got this for the next hour. Woo.
if I'm judged for having great taste, although someone like Derek Jeter, for example, who had his dating diamond,
Why would you feel a need that you can be honest to yourself? I know how many men I slept with. That ain't for everybody else. But why did you feel why did you feel that needs to be for public consumption? That's I mean the crux of this. That's what you mind if I sit to the edge of my seat?
you don't gotta ask for permission. This is your
Why would you feel the need to share that information with the public? Some things are left best unsaid.
That's what I hear. Probably the same reason that I wrote a book, because I felt called to share. There are some things that maybe moving forward I would keep to myself, but I mean, I just told you I had sex with 35 guys. That's an updated number for people who have been following the number for years now. So
Now, I mean, obviously guys slide in your DM trying to holler. Do you slide in guys' DM?
not anymore.
You used to? Mm-hmm. Why?
Probably there were probably 2 or 3 guys over the span of being like 22 to now.
Right.
Probably about 3 guys.
Did they respond?
Of course they did. Well, there are some that didn't respond, but that was.
They left you on red?
There are some guys left me on red, but it was like right after my breakup with my child's father, and I was kind of being facetious. Yeah, that wasn't nice.
You try to be see you. Why you do that?
But anyways,
Why you did? No, ain't no anyways. I want to know why. Why would you do
I'm
that?
like, well, shit, I'm ready to move on.
No, but
No, honestly, I didn't understand the magnitude of what I was about to go through, and I'm like, oh, I'm single. You know, he's moved on. Like, why is it different for both of us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we share a young child.
Right.
So why is me having a young child or whatever? But that whole situation being completely demonized, I had no idea what I was doing when I was trying to, like, here and there. Just, like, telling guys they were just fine. That was just kind of it. It wasn't like, yeah, we should, whatever. It was just like, I've always wanted to tell you this. I think.
But you know, like basketball players are off limits, right? NBA players, any NBA players off limits.
Right.
No, you can't do that. You try to do
the whole sport.
the whole sport, the whole NBA. You got to go to Europe. You got to go to Europe.
Better go learn Chinese, buddy. Hell no. I don't want
You know that's going, man. Britt, you know what that's gonna do.
What do you mean?
Cause
A whole sport?
yes. And besides,
cool with him.
you say you done with athletes anyway.
I mean, trust me, I ain't losing any sleep over it.
Because no, you got to stay away from them. Because it's gonna be because people assume, and this might not even be the case. You might sincerely love him. He might sincerely love you.
Yeah.
But you know how it's gonna be portrayed. Oh, she's trying to get back at it, and he probably will take it as if you trying to get at me.
What I've had to take accountability for is that I had to shrink myself to fit into a world of his that I was never meant to fit in. And you have to understand, this goes back to the pattern of when I was at Jackson State.
Okay.
I abandoned everything, left my whole life, moved across the country, going back to Michigan. I lived in Woodland Hills, had my condo, had my Benz. Left California, moved to Charlotte to be with him. The same pattern 10 years later. Because again, here I am thinking that a man is gonna fix it. This is the missing piece to my puzzle. So despite what people think about the complete buffoonery that has gone on between him and I, that is never anything I wanted. I had to stand up for myself after months of being lied on, that I was faking it all along and all these different things. This is such a popular topic years later because the lie ran around the world. So did it hurt initially when the guy that I thought was my guy proposes to the next person Absolutely. That's happened to me a couple times. So it's one of those triggering things where, full transparency, you're like, well, what's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? And then we start to internalize why it didn't work out. I've sat down with his fiance. We've had a 4-hour conversation out for brunch. And I think they're a perfect match for each other, quite frankly. So why would I be jealous or envious of a life that I walked away from? But the other side of that coin is understanding that was never my guy. We were meant to have our incredible son together. He's literally changed my life in every way. I grew deeper empathy after having a son for men. But that's why I can't get upset. I get upset at how I'm treated.
How you're portrayed.
You lied on me. That's what bothers me, is that you lied on me. You try to make it seem like something it wasn't. That was hurtful. But other than that, like, I'm happy for you. Blessings on your journey.
I heard you just say that what he said about you bothered you. The portrayal of you bothers you. Have you thought about when your son is of age and he can hear some of the things that you said about some of the things that you've done in your past? Have you thought about how that's gonna impact him?
Of course I've thought about it. But as much as I love my son, I love myself. I can't saturate myself for my child. I have to still be true to myself, because outside of being his mother, I'm Brittany Renner. I was Brittany Renner before he got here, and I'm gonna be Brittany Renner no matter what. My son could grow up and, oh, my mom, all these terrible things, she's the worst person ever. So I have to be at peace with the things that I've done and let my son make his own choice,
Right.
his own decisions. But I'm not going to not live my life the way that, again, because to question how I am is to question God. And people may not like the way that, like, how my expression is, the way I carry myself, the things that I say and how I say it, but you're still questioning God.
Marshawn, we got to talk about it. Super Bowl 49.
Oh, shit. Oh, you getting right.
Russ come on there on one knee, because Russ get down on one knee when he in the huddle. And you hear the play, because you on the 1 yard line, Marshawn. You on the 1 yard line. Russ in the huddle. And he's calling out the play. What's going through your mind?
Shit, to be honest, I look at 9 of the other guys, and they look at me like, what the fuck just happened? And I mean, you know, at the time,
Even as he's calling the play in the huddle, because look, you got 1 yard. We got the man that we got beast mode. We got 225, 35 pounds sledgehammer.
was handing.
And we got a timeout. So if we don't get it,
Was handing.
if we don't get it on this second down, we gonna get it on third, we gonna get it on fourth. We gonna get this ball in there. But B's gotta touch it. B's gotta have it.
Was handing. Man, the look on all my teammates' face in the huddle, you know, it spoke volumes. And I mean, you know, processing the shit, if you go back and you look at the play, I actually lined, because I'm processing. I line up on the wrong side. I line up on the wrong side, man. Russell got to tell you, I'm bouncing from back and forth behind, like, oh shit. And by the time it sat in, like, motherfucker, what did we just call? You just hear all the cheering from the other sideline, like, what the fuck?
So you didn't know Malcolm Butler had picked the ball off.
Man, because they send me on the flat.
Yeah, you
away.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm running out there like, shit, well, at least you're gonna hit me in the flat.
Yeah.
And I get my head around, yo,
He ain't tackling you one-on-one.
what the fuck going, like,
What
I
happened
don't
back
see
there?
no ball coming on. All right. And see them motherfuckers jumping up and down and cheering like, oh, shit. He just threw a pick. And at that time, you know, there was a lot of shit going on. You know what I mean?
So as you walking off the field,
Oh, man.
the defense is coming on the field.
God.
So was there interaction? Did anybody say anything? Did the defense say, man, what the F was that? But who called that bull
Now
jive?
that we look back at it, you see everybody, you know, they show the reactions.
Yeah.
To, I mean, you see the reaction, Sherm, Earl, Bruce, you know what I mean, the D-line, you see the reaction from everybody, and then as I'm going back to the sideline, you know, I go by Russ, and I just hear him like, oh man, like, I'll get him next time.
Whoa.
And as I hear the shit, I usually don't take my helmet off, but you know, I take my helmet off and I go right to Pete Carroll's face, and I'm talking about I hit his ass with the biggest.
You laughed in his face?
What the? And at that point, shit, I come up out my shit. I go to the locker room. I'm out.
Hold on. Hold on. Beast
I don't even
mode.
see all the shit going on. I don't see none of the shit. I don't see the last few plays.
Where they getting the scuffling and they pushing and shoving. You was already gone?
I'm in the motherfucking
You in the locker room.
I'm in the locker rough.
So by the time they come to the locker room, you probably already dressed.
It was Arizona. I think I ran in the Lenny Kravitz through the. Oh shit, yo! Hey, what's up, man? You looking like, don't you got a game? Oh yeah, that shit over. Get in the locker room. Hey, call my mama and call the family. Hey, come on, we back to the spot. All right, go in there, get dressed, go shower, get dressed, and as I'm coming out, now you see everybody else coming in. All right, man, I'll holler at y'all when you get back to the.
Why didn't they give you that ball? Why did Darrell Bevel call a pass play? Why did Pete Carroll not overrule him? What happened? Did they not want you to get that MVP?
Man, I have no idea. And from the understanding I got is nobody taking accountability for it. Neither one of them. They put it off on each other. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck they got going on.
Hold up. Russ put it off on Pete. Pete put it off on Russ, or was it coordinator the head coach?
Nah, coordinator and head coach. They pass it back to each other from that's when they talking to me. So I don't know how it played. But at the end of the day, yeah, that shit was, that shit was painful, because you gotta think, like, no matter what, in any sport you play, what you do, especially now, running back, saying, okay, you when you a little jit, you set up, pillow here, chair here, maybe a lamppost here, like, oh, okay, and then you start going. It's the end of the game, one more play. The quarterback hand the ball off to Marshawn. He jump in the end zone, touchdown. The Oakland Raiders win the Super Bowl. Cause I'm a Raiders fan. I'm from Oakland, California. So you put it together you put that play together so many times. You play that so many times. So not only did they take a
took a moment away from you.
They took a moment. They took a dream. Wow. You know what I mean? Like I say, that's once in a lifetime situation.
Have you gotten over it?
To be honest with you, now that, we at 10 years, we had a 10-year reunion for the Super Bowl, and just thinking like, damn, we could have been doing this again next year. And there's no telling, like, you took a dream away, you took a moment away, you arguably take a dynasty away. You know what I mean? Because then you in position to, hey, we win 2 Super Bowls, maybe I don't want to be the highest paid corner or the highest paid safety or the highest paid receiver. Nah, spread that cheese through the whole team so we could bring everybody back and we could go try to do 3, maybe 4. Let's see what we could get out of it. So, I mean, not only do you take away all that shit, but, you put us in the in the history books as the dumbest call in football history. And then, I mean, for my situation on the other end of it, it's going to be an everlasting question that I'm going to get. Why they ain't give you the ball?
Is that the question that you get asked the most? when people meet Marshawn Lynch and everybody knows who you are, is that the first question out of, they're like, hey, how you doing, Marshawn? Man, why they didn't give you that ball?
Hell no, it ain't no, hey, Marshawn, how you doing? This, hey, why the fuck they didn't give you the ball? Hey, is you Marshawn Lynch? You look just like Marshawn Lynch. Like, no, I ain't Marshawn Lynch. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to ask you that. I thought you was Marshawn Lynch. Because I was going to say, man, why, if you was Marshawn Lynch, why the fuck they didn't give you the ball? No, I'm Marshawn. Man, why the fuck they didn't give you the ball? Like, oh, shit. Fuck, I don't know, man. Shit, I wish I did know. I wish I could get, the truthful answer behind that.
But is there any answer he could give you now to satisfy you?
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't know. Now that it's been so much time in between, it probably wouldn't even matter.
Because, I've heard everybody says, well, they didn't want Beast Mode to be the MVP. Pete wanted it to be Russ, or the NFL wanted it to be Russ, and whatever the case may be. But it doesn't make sense. I mean, I played the game for a long time. It doesn't make sense to me. I got 235-pound sledgehammer back there, and I'm gonna throw a pass on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, it just don't make sense.
You almost scored on the play before. You ran it down to the 1.
You damn right. You know what I mean? So I realistically, like, man, when I think about it, I'm in a position to where, you feel me, I don't get, upset or frustrated with it, but more so curious, like, because then you got all the possibilities. Did they not want you to be the Super Bowl MVP? Because if you're Super Bowl MVP, then you're the face of the NFL. They don't want that to be the case or whatever. But at that,
and when they have special occasions, they bring all Super Bowl winners back, and they out there. Let me ask you this: how long did it take you to get over not getting the ball?
You know what? Realistically, it was immediately. Because the thing is, if you go and ask anybody that ever played with me, they'll tell you, like, he really, like, play for the team type shit.
Right.
So it was a part of me who wanted to be selfish, like, give me the ball type shit. But at the end of the day, knowing the work that all these individuals put in, you know what I mean? If Locke catch that ball, that's my nigga. So you feel me?
Right.
I'm happy for him. But in the grand scheme of just football, that shit don't make no sense.
Right.
But as far as, you know what I mean, because I'll never come and intentionally be no hater towards nobody, but just certain shit makes sense and certain shit don't. That just don't make no sense. Mm-hmm. It's not a good football. It's not
a football decision.
It's not good football IQ on. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's not.
Was that the play that ended the Seattle Seahawks?
Most definitely. And they suffering that from still to this day.
Because I had a podcast at the time called Miles and Off, and I went on that Monday, and I said they'll never be the same. I said they won't look at Pete the same. I said they realize because a lot of teams win one in a row. To be special, you win back-to-back Super Bowls because there've been so few that have done it. Mm-hmm. I said they will never believe in Pete the same way again.
And it's like, you know what I mean? Like when a Dauphin get that first high, they going to chase that.
You chase that. You search for that. It's called chasing the dragon.
Chase that motherfucker. And now you got a situation where I believe where you look at it, like that motherfucker is almost like he's trying to chase and rebuild that team that he had rather than moving forward and letting the guys that he got be the guys.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. You're not going to get a Sherm. I mean, you got a Sherm, you got a rookie Sherm and an Earl Thomas and a Cam Chancellor, and, you got B. Wags and you got KJ and you got Bennett and you got Averill and you got Red. I mean, bro, you're not going to recreate that.
You're not. But as long as you chasing that and you not building these individuals to be the greatest player that they can be, you're going to keep on, repeating history. Because he got some guys who I believe can play.
Right.
But if you got in your mind that you want
you're gonna recreate
your guy
that
to be a Michael Bennett, or you got your guy, you want him to be a Marshawn, or you can't do that. But the thing is, if you go and groom that guy to be the best him, then it probably give yourself a better chance. You feel me? Because they got some dudes over there who I really, I
you get that
I like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as long as in their mindset they trying to get him to be the goddamn 2013 Seahawks.
What was your relationship with Pete like? And are there any similarities between John Gruden and Pete Carroll? But what was your relationship like with Pete?
My relationship with Pete was interesting. Because I mean, the thing is, like, I like Pete as a coach because he get motherfuckers ready to go.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And
Yeah.
you feel me? And he the same way every day. But there was just certain things about Pete, like, you know what I mean, he was like really,
Yeah.
And I, you know what I mean, like, for me, I don't need that
Right.
to get going. That's why I said,
He like a high school coach.
on Sunday,
Yeah.
we play Sunday, right? Or we got a Thursday night game.
Right.
Okay, cool. Let me know when the game is, and I'm gonna be ready. All the extra shit, I don't need it.
Right.
I don't need all of that to get ready to get to go. But a lot of guys can feed into that, and I seen it, and it worked.
Right.
So you feel me? I'll never go against the grain like, oh, fuck him and this, that, and the third. Because no, he's a great motivator and get motherfuckers ready. But it was just that I didn't need that. And I don't think he understood like where I was coming from. That I don't need to be ha and hoo and all that in order to be ready. And you know, I believe he wanted me to be a part of that type of environment. But that just wasn't my speed. So that kind of got us to, you know what I mean, headbutting a little bit for the misunderstanding. But the thing was, I always told him, like, man, I ain't gonna never go against the grain. I ain't gonna never tell nobody not to, you know what I mean, listen to what you got going on, but that shit just not for me. So, you know what I mean, if you're gonna be having meetings or whatever, you know what I mean, we came to an understanding. If we having a meeting and you not telling me specifically, like, Marshawn, on this play, we need you to do X, Y, and Z, then, you know, I'm probably not gonna come to that meeting. Because I know what you're gonna be in there doing. You're gonna be in here and busting jokes and doing all the funny shit. And
Diddy.
yeah, I mean, I'm ready to play football. So when it comes down to that, then let me know. Once we got that understanding.
You were cool.
Yeah.
Michael's son, Marcus, was, I don't know if he currently still is, dating Scottie's ex-wife.
Yeah.
How would you feel if a teammate of yours dated your daughter? Would you feel some type of way?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That is a really, I feel bad for Michael. I feel bad for Scottie.
Yes.
That is so messy. I don't like messy because when it's messy, everybody has an opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has an opinion. And you know the internet is not a place for messy.
No.
And you have to understand, it's a lot of kids involved.
Yes.
And people are mean. People are mean. And it's unfortunate. You know, I just got into social media because I didn't want to be around the meanness. And I feel bad for everybody involved because I see all the pictures. I don't do the comment stuff, but I know they're going to be mean.
Right.
But it's just, I just hate messy. And it's just really messy. And there are no winners. There's only losers. Because obviously Michael and Scottie's relationship can't ever be the same.
Right. Did you know, was it the Last Dance when Michael put that, because he wasn't there at the time when Scottie refused to go in the game.
Yeah.
And he inserted that into the Last Dance. Did you always know that Scottie and Michael had this kind of contentious relationship? Because from the outside, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, I was surprised it was so bad.
Okay.
I was surprised. But in fairness, I didn't spend a ton of time with those guys together. Right. I spent a lot more time with Michael. A lot more time with Michael. You know, it's just a sad situation because I think not that I know, but you know, if you win a championship with guys, y'all probably have a special bond for life.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you win 6, y'all might as well.
Y'all should be brothers.
So, like I say, if you win one championship, I'm pretty sure every time y'all get together,
because you're gonna have the reunion.
Yes.
Every 5 year, 10 year, 15, 20, 30.
yeah. But if you win 6 together, y'all should be damn near blood brothers.
Yes.
So that's the thing I most feel bad. There's guys I didn't win with. They're some of my best friends.
Right.
Every time I see them, it's like, man, I got another brother. And like we bumping each other at All-Star games,
Right.
maybe the Hall of Fame ceremony, or we just bumping each other.
Right.
It's like a family reunion.
Right.
But if I had won 6 championships with somebody, I would think, man, we blood brothers for life.
When people that do what we do take shots at you, I mean, you had the funny back and forth. You and Shaq had the funny back and forth. You put Kendrick Perkins' face on the punching bag, and you punch it and you get in shape. I mean, how do you handle that when guys that do what we do take shots at you?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me because I guess technically we take shots at players.
Right.
The only problem that I had with what Kendrick says, there's nobody in the world watch more basketball than me.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, and I had just come out of March Madness, which pissed me off even more because I was watching 2 or 3 college basketball games a day.
Right.
March Madness really sucks because I'm watching games all day long.
Right.
But to say another guys don't watch the games.
Because he has a different opinion than yours.
Yeah. And so that's the only thing bothering me. I say there's nobody in the world watch more basketball than me. So, but I don't get mad.
Right.
And the thing that's really funny about it, Shaq is so sensitive at times.
Right.
Because I was going to let it go. And he's like, nah. My mama told me growing up, we kill all roaches. And I said so that's how the whole roast thing came up.
Right.
And so anytime anything happened right now, Shaq's like, we killing roaches. And Shaq is so crazy. He made a rap diss song.
Yeah.
But I don't take it the only person I've taken shots at, honestly, is Skip Bayless. Because, man, what we do is such an honor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can say stuff just to say it. Because my whole, going back then, I said, hey man, there's somebody in Montana, Maine, South Dakota. If I said something bad about these guys, they're like, well, I saw it on television. It's gotta be true.
Right.
So I'm be like, man, I'm not gonna say anything about a player, especially if it's personal. There's somebody in Montana or South Dakota gonna say, well, Charles Barkley said this guy was blah, blah, blah. So I'm never gonna use my platform
For negativity.
for negativity.
I'm gonna get you out on this one. You once said that you probably lost about $20 million in gambling. Have you quenched that urge to gamble, or do you still like to gamble?
I love to gamble. I don't like to gamble. I got to the point. So I would go to Vegas and I'd win $1 million.
Damn.
Oh,
I mean, what you play in a hand? 25, 30, 40,000?
I played 25,000 a hand.
Okay.
Yeah. Couple quick double downs, you can get that.
Yeah. And quick double down, you get it up out your pockets.
I don't want no check. I don't want you to wire it. I want cash. And there's probably been 7 times that I won $1 million.
Okay.
There's probably been 25 times I've lost $1 million.
Right.
So what happened was I quit gambling for 2 years. And I always take the same group of guys with me, and I said, man, I miss gambling. They're like, why don't you start gambling again? I said, well, man, I was getting out of hand. They're like, yo, man, your gambling ain't getting out of hand. You're just an idiot.
Right.
And the one thing I pride myself on around my friends, they can always be honest with me. I said, why you say I'm an idiot? They're like, yeah, man, we'll be sitting there. You'll be up $300,000-$400,000. And we're like, Chuck, let's go. You good for the night.
Right.
And in my head, I'm saying, nah, we're not leaving this motherfucker. I win $1 million.
Right.
And they said, dude, there's times you've been up $600,000-$700,000.
Right.
and you won't quit.
Right.
Because gambling's really just peaks and valleys.
It is.
It's just peaks and valleys.
It's the stock market.
Yes, that's all it is. And they're like, dude, why can't you win $300,000 and say, man, we had a great weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Why you got to win $1 million? And I said, what? They says, why can't you lose 300 and say, we still had a great weekend? And I says, are you serious right now? He says, man, you know I ain't gonna lie to you. Let's win a couple 100,000, have a great weekend, go home, or lose 200 or 300. You ain't got to win $1 million, or you ain't got to chase it and lose $1 million. And so to answer your question, I said, yo man, we're going to Vegas for the weekend. We're gonna lose a couple 100,000, or we're gonna win a couple 100,000. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna play golf every day and get drunk every night.
Right.
And I had to change my mentality because you can never break the casino.
No.
They can break your ass.
Yes.
And my friends just sit me down and said, yo man, let's just go have fun for the weekend. Let's win some money or lose a little bit. But yeah, but that's what really happened. Like I say, I got such elation. But then when I would lose $1 million, I was so depressed. Not that the money, yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, because of the money, but the losing.
But the winning never feels as good as the losing hurt.
Yes. You're so excited when you got all that money laying in front of you, but you're like depressed for a week.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I lost $1 million. And then you have to send the bill to your financial people.
Uh-oh.
And they yell at you. And they yelling and yelling and yelling. And then I says, hey, y'all better quit yelling at me. I'm gonna fire y'all. Okay. And then they're like, okay, we'll pay it. But that's what really happened. I was getting out of hand because like you just had, your point was so good. No matter how good it feels winning, when you lose, it just sucks.
Kevin Hart. Now, you know when Katt Williams said gatekeepers?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, I do his podcast.
Yes.
And I want y'all to re-listen to the podcast so you can hear it for yourself. When he first comes on, he says, you're like my mother, you're like my aunt, you're like my sister. Okay? Then we do the podcast. We speak about the Tyler Perry situation. Oprah Winfrey, he said, I don't really know Oprah, but I'm going to reach out to Tyler. I appreciate that. Kevin kept his word. He reached out to Tyler Perry. Kevin Hart called me back about maybe a week or so later. He said, Mo, I talked to Tyler. He said he don't want to revisit it. He said, but I tell you what, let's move past that, Mo. Let's just move past that and let's just do great things. So whatever
That's what Kevin said.
I want you to hear me, Kevin Hart. Let's move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do. Now, let me say that before we go any further because I want to make sure I give Kevin Hart his proper credit. When my family was up against the wall, Kevin Hart wrote us a check and said, here you go. We're forever grateful for that. When we were able to give it back, we said, brother, we appreciate you with some interest on top because I don't ever want nobody to think
Feel like they
me and my husband. So I want to make sure I put that out there. That brother really helped us out when we needed to be helped out. Then when he came back with, I got you. I didn't ask Kevin Hart to do anything. He said, I'll executive produce. I'll partner with you. I said, good shit, Kevin, because we're in a deal with Endemol. And we're trying to get our talk show back. Mo, whatever it is, I got you. Now, Kevin Hart is one of the biggest entertainers right now in the world,
Correct.
right? And was then. We got off the phone with Kevin Hart. We called Endemol immediately and said, Kevin Hart said, whatever we want to do, he got us. He's going to partner, executive use. They was like, oh, this is incredible because when you put Kevin Hart's name on it, you already know what it is.
Correct.
2 weeks go by. We get a call from Endemol. Endemol says, we just got a call from Kevin Hart's manager, Dave Becky. And Dave Becky said, Kevin doesn't want anything to do with Monique. So whatever she told y'all, he doesn't want to do anything with her, nothing. You know, he doesn't want any kind of relationship with Monique.
So what changed between the 2 weeks and plus he gave you a check, you gave the money back, then said he would partner with you, executive produce, whatever you need, Mo, hey, we got you. So what transpired, or what do you think transpired between then, that 2 week period?
Well, soon as we got off the phone and they told us what Kevin's manager, David Becky, said, I called Kevin Hart immediately. I said, hey, baby, we just got off the phone with Endemol, and they said Dave Becky called them up and said, you don't want anything to do with me. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication. I can tell you right now. I said, wait a minute. Are you okay, though, with this white man calling them up? Getting in between our relationship after something you said. He said, Mo, that's a miscommunication, and we're going to talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication. That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him. I've never talked back to Kevin Hart again. So that's what we're faced with. When you allow somebody to come in between a relationship with a woman that you said, I'm like your mother. You said I'm like these things. I didn't ask you for that. So everything that baby was saying sitting here, everything he was saying was on the up and up, because when you hear people say, get the anger out your heart. Oh, man, no one's saying he's lying. No one ever said I was lying. It's so easy to discount and devalue because of what we look like.
Right.
However, when it comes to Tyler Perry, I will not allow you to discount or devalue, because that is your voice on that audio. Mm-hmm. Remember on Good Times when Penny's mother was whooping up on her and she had recorded it? Mm-hmm. That's you on tape. So how does it go from you saying you're going to give me an apology to now I owe you an apology?
But what do you want an apology for?
What could I possibly owe you an apology for when you've admitted? See, when Lee Daniels says to me, because Cookie from the show Empire, I was offered that role. Now Taraji tore it up, baby. Listen here. However, I was offered that. Then Felita called me back and say, baby girl, they said you're too difficult to work with. But you hear on the audio that a man told David Talbert I was difficult to work with. Do you see how that cost my family?
Yes.
And with no accountability because, it's the great Tyler Perry. No, you've got to be accountable for that. Oprah Winfrey, you've got to be accountable for the things you've done with my family. You've got to be accountable for that.
Is there any relationship between you and Tyler and you and Oprah currently?
No.
But I thought there was an apology. I read I read somewhere that Oprah had issued you an apology and Tyler had issued an apology. That's not correct.
No.
The only person that's given you an apology.
You saw it. It's Lee Daniels. That's the only person. So we are in a place where we're too afraid to call them for what it is. We're too afraid to say, if it looked like a duck and it quacked like a duck, what is it, Shannon? It's a duck.
Right.
So again, you see the struggle of the black woman as I'm sitting here talking to you, and you say, Mo, but why would you record him? But you heard the man violate me. The first thing wasn't, I can't believe that Katt did that to you. It's, why would you do it? And we understand it.
Right.
Because we've been conditioned that way. When we have our juggernauts, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart. These are our juggernauts of our community. These are the people that our babies say, when I grow up, I want to be that.
Yes.
I want to be like that. So we have to call those people to the mat and say, listen, what are you teaching our babies? You're feeding poison because you're showing them your private jet. I'm going to show you my mansion. I'm going to show you my fancy cars, but my character is shot and I'm bankrupt. I got a lot of money in my bank. It's more zeros than some of them than we can imagine. But their character, they are bankrupt. Those are bankrupt people. So everybody that Katt sat right here and told you about, I can't wait to see your next interviews with those people.
They ain't coming on now, Mo.
Invite them.
I have.
They not gonna do it.
Well, look, I've already done Steve. I have a relationship with Steve.
Do him again. Do him again. And I'm going to say this.
I'm trying to get Oprah and Tyler, though.
Baby, we got him. Y'all, come on, stop playing.
They ain't coming on, Mo, thanks to you.
You know how. And I don't want to put you on a spot, but I'm going to say it because I appreciate you as a black man and what you're doing.
Thank you.
If you are my friend, and someone says to me, Monique, Shannon Sharpe wronged me, and you my friend, I'm going to call my friend.
You can come to me.
And I'm going to say, hey, is what they saying true? And if you get to hemming and hawing, I'm going to tell you, till you fix it, you and I can't talk. Because if you'll do them that way, it'll be a matter of time before you do it to me. So if Steve Harvey is your friend, you call your friend up and you ask him, is what our sister saying right, man? Because if it is, we can't do that to her. If that's our sister. See, it took a transgender named T.S. Madison. It was a guy named Jamaica Carter. Jamaica Carter and our mutual friend. Jamaica Carter and our friends. T.S. Madison was a mutual friend. So Jamaica called me and said, would you mind doing T.S. Madison's show? I go do T.S. Madison's show. When I tell T.S. Madison when the camera cuts, I said, listen, your friend is wrong. She said, Monique Lee Daniels is my friend. I said, then you need to call your friend and tell him to fix this shit. She said, I will. Within a couple of days, who did I get a call from? Lee Daniels. See, that's a friend. That's a true friend that's saying, I love you so much that I want to make sure that's not on your heart or your conscience. Let's fix it. Let's make it right. So when people ask Lee now, when we did the deliverance together, how was it to work with Monique? It was as if we had never parted ways because he fixed it. He owned it and he took accountability for it. I can't now keep you to the cross because you've owned it.
Right.
I've had to be forgiven.
Right.
So I appreciate that someone had grace and mercy with me. So I'm going to have that with other people when they take accountability for what they've done.
Jess, hilarious. I mean, should I bring her name?
Oh, you can bring her whatever you want to bring.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
No, man, listen, brother.
I just want to know, because I don't, look, I ain't messy.
Anything you want to talk to me about, this sofa is, ever since Katt Williams touched this sofa, the energy in this sofa, it make me want to talk about it.
I mean, I don't know if you heard, but she was on Cam Newton's show, and she said, you know, y'all was in a relationship, and, you know, she had to wake you up one morning because it had gotten out that y'all were together. I mean, you want to laugh. I mean, she told her side on his show, and you want to tell your side.
Jess, like I always told her, she never tells the 100% truth, and I let her do that.
Okay.
But I texted her the other day, I said, Jess, man, and I got kind of petty. I said, you got to get more going on in your career so they can start bringing up my name in your interview.
Wow.
Because when I come, Netflix special, his book, you know what I'm saying, this going on, that going on. We don't got to down each other. That's been 5 years ago.
Right.
If that's the main question in your interview, well, we got to put some work in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when Kountry Wayne come, when I go on Good Morning America, we don't talk about so much before we got to that.
Exactly.
You feel me? I'm like, man, we don't have.
And I was comfortable not talking about it.
Exactly. And I'm like, you can't. It's not working in your favor.
Right.
People go pretend it, but they watching. They see Kountry Wayne is taking care of black people. Movement. Don't let the people fool you.
Right.
They ain't on your side. I'm like, it ain't working. So I was just like, man, a lot of that she talk about, I let it slide, but man, that stuff ain't play out like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I separated from my wife.
Right.
Went and got Jess. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. I started talking to her.
Right.
And I got divorced. My divorce was 45 days.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And me and her started talking. And then all the stuff she talking about on there, cause my baby mama hit me up. She was like, can you please ask Jess to stop talking about that? Because now the kids are hearing it at school because she keep bringing it up. And that's the only reason made me hit her up.
Right.
I'm like, Jess, man, I ain't never said nothing negative about you, and everybody know that.
Right.
Let that ride.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But she want to be the winner. I'm like, Jess, let's be real. Because Charlamagne asked one time, he said, how you lose Jess Larry? I said, how she lose Kountry Wayne? I'm the catch.
Right.
What you talking about? Like, let's be real. My baby mamas, they fine as I don't know what. Jess fine too.
Right.
But I been had them. She ain't had no Kountry Wayne.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, let's stop that, man. First of all, it's two black people talking. If you gonna speak, just speak the truth. Cause this sofa right here.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, but I'm like, man.
But she did say, you know, she woke you up.
No, that ain't. Come on, man.
That didn't happen like that.
That not happen like that, man. That divorce went so fast. I filed in December. Me and my baby mom was divorced by February.
But at that point in time, when you had separated from your wife, you had started talking to Jess.
Yeah, I had started talking to Jess.
Okay.
And all this stuff came out in the shade room. A lot of that was after that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she say we woke up, and then she was like, cause I tell him all the time, his stuff corny. I'm like, why you gotta call my stuff corny? Because I got a different audience that follow me too.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got the streets in the church. Ain't too many artists got the streets in the church. You know what I mean?
Man, when I be seeing what you be talking about, you be making on social media month, that ain't nothing corny about that.
Ain't nothing corny, but see, that's that mentality of people from a certain, it's like This world think this world corny. This world think this world corny. I think Martin was a good show and Big Bang Theory.
Right. Two different
Friends.
audiences.
Just because you think Friends corny, when they get the millionaire episode, you ain't gonna never grow artistically because you think only what you come from is good.
Right.
And that's the problem with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bruh, you gonna call this corny just because I ain't cursing because I'm finna get this in-stream ad money? Well, y'all keep going on tour.
Yeah.
Got to keep catching while Wayne sit home in the bed, spending time with his kid. You know what I'm saying? Making this guapo. You know what I mean?
So what's your favorite viral video that you created?
Man, shoot. I guess the first one, when you have to fake like you like your girlfriend's cooking. Cause that started it off. And that day.
But that was true though, huh? You had to fake a couple of times, huh?
Yeah. I done had to fake a lot of times. Man, I ain't gonna lie, boy, my baby mama cooked me some pork chops one time, just not eating that pork, and it was so good. But let me tell you something. My blood pressure shot through my hair. Man, I remember I was laying on the sofa, and she had cooked me one, but it was so good, and I knew it was the pork chop. But get what I said.
What?
She said, you want some more? Yeah, just give me one more. But let me tell you, like to kill me. And then I had this white girl named Holly one time.
What she cooked?
I should be saying their name, man. Damn, what's in this water?
You see that special water right there?
Well, I need to move it from by. I got it too close. Put that in between them. Boy, something about this sofa right here, boy. Hey, nah, but man, Holland, I had started going vegan, and she hit me saying, you know, she was a white girl.
Yeah.
So she like, I'm finna do something different than the black girls. I hear him. He said he wants food. Man, she cooked me some brownies. I waited for them to dry all day. She said they were just wet because they ain't had dry yet.
Right.
Let me tell you something. That goo ain't got there gum. Like they killed my goddamn throat and stomach. It was like glue. And I was tasting it. She was like, how is it? I said, it's moist. It like to kill me, man.
But you know everybody ain't gonna be able to cook that vegan food like that.
I know. But I taste it. Yeah, everybody ain't gonna be able to cook it. I tell people, only way you're gonna be able to cook the vegan if you was able to cook the real food. So I think all the real cooks just a real cook. Because the people who are good at vegan, it was the people who was cooking good food anyway.
So the one you did when you found out your 13-year-old son had her girlfriend and her mama was fine.
Yeah. I did, man. I come up with skits all day. So what I was doing, once I seen that money in those skits, I was coming up with these scenarios I got in my head, and I just put them out. You know what I'm saying? I come up with ideas, you do this, you do this, you do this. Bam, we don't edit, we record it, cut off the action, cut off the cut, bam.
We there.
We there. I don't edit or nothing. I use my cell phone.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you got very little overhead when you shooting this.
The money go to the people instead of the equipment. That's how, because it cost me $250,000 a month to shoot these skits now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now,
But you shoot like 30 or 40.
yeah, I know I drop 300 skits a month. That's got like 900 something skits a day. I mean, 99 skits a day,
Right.
sometimes 10. Most time 10 to 12. Cause Phil got 2, Brad got 3, Mike got 3, that 8, then I got 2. So mainly 9 to 10 skits. Yep.
Let me ask you your strategy, because you say you big on Facebook. And a lot of people, and I had to get out this way of thinking, like when you looked at Facebook, you think, okay, class reunion, family reunion.
That's why Jess called me corny, because she think that audience corny. Mm-hmm. But that's who got the money. See, they aiming at the wrong audience.
Right.
Because the aunties is one giving, the mamas giving you money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that audience, it's the hardest audience to get. Because if Beyonce got a cake and Ashley got a cake, they gonna taste it, and whoever cake is better,
right,
they gonna buy.
But they
don't care if it's Beyonce cake.
But there's a big enough audience. Taylor Swift audience isn't necessarily Beyonce's audience. Mm-mm. But you don't think they're making no grip?
They make. It's a lot of people in this world, man.
Thank you.
And when black people, to blow up with the black community and really get that money, because, you know, that's why, to be honest, I'm just being transparent. That's why I'm able to make so much more than a lot of black creators, because I got everybody. Now, everybody might not like me in this clique, but everybody know Kountry Wayne in every clique.
Right.
And you go to the streets and be like, oh, I rock with Wayne, drip. You go to the aunties, oh, I love Country Wayne. Ricky Smiley, Tyler Perry fans love Country Wayne.
Right.
But what I realized as black people, you can't afford to cut off an audience because there's not enough.
Right.
So when you black and that's all you got, you better be transparent.
Right.
That's why I stopped cursing in my company. Okay, I'm already raw. So let me stop cursing so at least, because it's hard to sell out.
You can get another demographic.
Yeah, and that's what happened. I end up getting the church. They like, okay, Wayne raunchy, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, at least he don't curse.
Right.
And in the hood, like, Wayne ain't cursing, we don't live, but he talking about the right subject.
Right.
So I had to, until you get that, all audiences, you know, until you Taylor Swift them, man, if you're dealing with black people, man, you better be transparent.
Right. Mm-hmm. You go to Auburn, and then there's this, Auburn bought Cam Newton. His daddy received this large monetary sum of money.
Yeah.
So what's going on? How did this come about?
Allegedly.
Yes.
You know,
before you, so where were the schools that you could have gone to? Okay, you go to Auburn. So where, after blend, where were your choices?
Oklahoma, Kansas State, Mississippi State, Auburn.
Okay.
It was a whole different recruitment process when I was in JUCO rather than coming out of high school.
Okay.
Out of high school, I was looking for gear and a good time.
Right.
By way of, female.
The hostesses.
Yeah. In JUCO, I was a millionaire mentality. How are y'all gonna incorporate me in this offense with my skill set?
Right.
Not what Sam Bradford was doing, because that ain't how I play the game.
Right.
I'm gonna bring a whole different element of this offense that you gotta start shaping some shit around. Kansas State the same way. Mississippi State, Dan Mullen, right? And he knew Dan Mullen was the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach while I was at Florida.
Okay. So you had some familiarity.
There was a lot of familiarity. And his plan was, I remember Coach Mullen had called me, and at that time, me being the type of player I was, if a coach calling you, that means
you done did something.
You ain't go to study hall, you didn't go to class, it was something. But this conversation was him telling me that he was going to Mississippi State. It ended up being Mississippi State. He didn't tell me the team. And I was saying to myself, well, he want me to consider transferring to Mississippi State.
Right.
But Coach not Malzahn, Coach Meyer
Urban
had to sign off on that. And I knew he wasn't going to sign off for that. So I had to go to junior college. Now, when you say the things like going through the whole NCAA pay-for-play scandal, this is where I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to share this. If you really go back and you know the reports to what it said two sources said that Cam Newton and his father took money to go to Auburn. Those two sources was Dan Mullen and his wife, Megan Mullen. How do we get to that? I'll tell you. The day I was going to commit to Auburn out of junior college, it was neck and neck.
Mississippi State
and Auburn. When I went to Auburn, as my mental was solely focused on success. I was really trying to play catch up to the Joe Haydens, the Marquise Pounceys, the Aaron Hernandez, who were already in the league. And I said to myself, we came in together in Florida, they already in the league. I'm trying to find the fastest way that I can get to the league. When I went to Auburn, they mentioned that they would have 22 seniors coming back. Mississippi State probably only had 3 to 4. These are all different things as a 20-year-old college player and a 16, 17-year-old kid. You don't think that that's a big thing, but it really is. My whole determining factor was I wanted to go to a school that could get me to a BCS game. That was either the Tostitos Bowl, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, whatever. If I went there and my tenure at that school, I was going top 10.
Okay.
Because I knew in order for us to get there, I would have to play my best form of football.
Right.
When I was about to commit to Auburn, one of the things that my father told me that I had to do as a man, he said, you got to call Coach Mullen. And you have to tell him the decision that you're going to make. Be a man. I said, damn, Pop, like, why though? You know what I'm saying?
He gonna find out sooner or later.
He gonna figure out what tickle.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He can read.
But that's how my father raised me.
Okay.
He said, son, you're gonna have to be a man.
Right.
And that's where I always challenge society now. We need more men empowering men, not boys raising boys.
Correct.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yes,
but
I do.
certain circumstances play out like that. But to that point, I put a lot of focus on my father. I said, Pop, you a man of God. If it's on your heart to wherever we're gonna decide to go, that's where we're gonna go. Man, at that time, we were exploring so many different things. And he came back, wrote it down on a sheet of paper. I looked at it. It had Auburn on it. I said, I ain't gonna even question it. That's where we going.
Okay.
That day that I was gonna make it public, I had to call Coach Mullen. I remember having a conversation. It was extremely awkward because when I called him, he answered, how's my quarterback doing? And I said, Coach, I just wanted to be a man and call you and tell you and Miss Megan that I'm going to Auburn. And I didn't want you to hear it through the grapevines. I didn't want you to hear it on ESPN. I wanted to be a man and call you. And he asked me this question, but how, Cam? Like, you know I was going to do right by you. We need you. And I gave him this quote. It was just too good to be true. Now, too good to be true for me was you got 22 seniors.
Right.
They battle tested. I ain't going into a locker room with freshmen. They ready to win right now. They just need me to propel them to elite status. Mississippi State needed me and some, and I don't think Mississippi State garners the measure of recruits. Like, come on, it's Mississippi State here. And still Mississippi State at that particular point in time. And I heard Miss Megan in the background. I was like, did he commit? Did he commit? He was like, no. And then that's when I talked to her. I was like, man, I just apologize, but this is a business decision that I'm saddened that it didn't work out. Had that conversation when I was 20. And I thought I was doing the right thing. So fast forward to the success going on at Auburn. First game we played Arkansas State. Think the next game, or the first primetime game we had was versus Mississippi State. It was on a Thursday night. We ended up winning that football game. And I'm big on energy. I'm big on just posture and certain things. At the end of the game, I looked at him and I wanted to shake his hand and say, Coach, man, appreciate you, man, thank you. And it was a little iffy though. You know what the hood teach you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like my spidey senses was a little up.
They were tingling. He on some bull.
You dig what I'm saying? I ain't really know what it was. His wife was there. We spoke. Condolences, man. Good luck for the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? Blase blah. The report came 2 weeks after that. And if you remember, it was two sources. It was Dan Mullen and his wife that created all this ruckus. Cam and his daddy took money.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward to now when it's becoming a big story. I remember after the game, we had another primetime game on Saturday night. We played South Carolina. That was when the world knew who Cam Newton was. Another phone call by Coach Chiswick, and anybody who played at Auburn knew if somebody's calling you from a no-caller ID, it's Coach Chiswick. That ain't a good call that you want to have. But I was in good standings, you know what I'm saying? We undefeated at that particular point in time. He said, Cam, I need to talk to you and your parents. Are your parents still in town? I said, yes, sir. I said, I need y'all to come to my office and we need to have a conversation. Cool. Boom, I'm thinking, you know, you about to just Say the typical, man, you're doing an amazing job, blah, blah, blah.
Y'all raised an unbelievable young man.
Oh, my goodness. It's working out fine. Like, I remember, look, it was me, my mom, and my dad, and Coach Chizik sitting across from us. And, you know, Coach Chizik, you know, hey, I just want to let y'all know it's about to be a report that comes out that a scandal and the NCAA is about to do an investigation on you guys' family. So I'm looking around like, on who? For what? Say, there's a report that you guys took money to come here. So I'm like, okay, cool. How much we talking? Like, boom. He said 180,000. Looked at my mama looked at me. We bust out laughing. Are you serious? Like, for real? We laughing. Coach Chizik ain't laughing. I was like, oh, you for real? So I'm saying to myself, I'm looking at my mama. Mama, you got 180? Pop, you got 100? Like, where I'm from, you can't hide that type of money.
Nah,
I ain't never seen $1,000, let alone 180 to 200,000.
Right.
That'd be hard to hide, especially, man, in our house. But man, I done found so much from PlayStations to Sega Genesis to all that they tried to hide from us. I'm like, man, how? Who?
Right.
Who got it? It was a suspicion to us. Like, who got this money that y'all proclaiming us to have got? And he was just reporting news. He's like, listen, I don't know who did it or who got it, but the NCAA is about to open an investigation and uncover as much as they possibly can.
Okay.
And during that stint, from that week on throughout even the national championship, that burden was always on, and I no longer was an amateur athlete. I had to operate as if I was a CEO. I had to operate and be stoic and be strong. And when somebody would ask, Cam, you all right? Yeah, I'm good. Knowing good and well I was suffering in silence. Nobody could go through what I went through. Not my family, not my teammates, not my coaches. Not only am I being investigated throughout the day, I'm trying to play the best form of football that I possibly can during game time. And I'm going through so much, I can't speak to them. I'm talking to my dad, I'm talking to my brothers, I'm talking to, my family, but they don't get it. They there for support, but it's not like, we understand what you're saying. That's the only thing that they can say. And I'm saying to myself, bro, it's hard. We playing, after that, you got LSU, you got Arkansas, you got Georgia, you got all these games that I'm like, yo, on top of that, this is the greatest season that the Auburn University has ever had. You got Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
How are you doing this? I was having an outer body experience in my body. Like, I'm like, yo, I'm surprising myself with the measure of focus that I had to go through. And still, that's what brought my family closer. Because even though I knew, still to this day, nobody took money from it. That was just a grenade thrown into the crowd to just have a bitter person. Mm-hmm. He didn't come to my school, so he had to have taken some money to go to that school because we had already had a relationship. But I was thinking to myself, you didn't play me while you was at Florida. These are all things that I'm saying, like, I seen your true self.
Right.
I didn't want to get burnt twice. So on top of that, these things are happening, and through it all, by the grace of God, I was able to still perform at a high level. And my father jumped on that grenade. Knowing good and well he ain't take no money. Knowing good and well, he said, look, how can we allow my son to play? Well, we're gonna need somebody to take this rap. My father said, without blinking, I take it. Paint me however you want to paint me.
Right.
I'll do it for my son. He gonna be eligible to play? Cool. I'll take it. Well, Cecil, you can't come to no more games. And still to this day, it was told during the Heisman ceremony, they said, I think it's best for you not to show up for that. I took that personal. And
the person that meant the most, that had the greatest impact on Cam Newton, the player, the man that he became at his highest moment to date, the man that meant so much to you couldn't be there to share it with you.
I could not share the moment. I remember winning the Heisman ceremony, stuttering. I was nervous, but I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be with my dad. I wanted to be with my family. Because this was my opportunity to show my dad, like,
to thank him.
To thank him, but also my dad challenged me every day. Boy, that's not right, boy. You gotta be a man. From I'm 7, 8, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, still in college. So you gotta be a man. That ain't no man. Take responsibility, take accountability. This was me showing him, Pop, I'm being a man, Pop. Look at me, look at what you created, man. Man, this us. This ain't just me. This ain't Cam Newton. This for our whole lineage. This is for the whole Newton name. This is what you created. Let me share that with you. Everybody was excited, but they stripped that from me.
Right.
But Archie Manning, that ain't no question. But if it's Lamar Ball, that's a problem. Deion Sanders, oh, he playing all that with that. These are great forms of King Richard. Men who meant so much and that was trying to put their family in the best situation. Tiger Woods' father, these people. My father has did nothing wrong and was painted as a villain. Still to this day, he still ain't been back to Auburn. Truth be told.
Do you get an opportunity to get back?
To Auburn? Yeah, but I ain't never been back to the Heisman.
Right.
For what? They didn't care about my family at that point in time. Because if they knew, we was telling everybody like 180,000, 200,000, you can't hide that. Not in my community, not in my culture. You would have seen it in a car. You would have seen it in a house.
Yeah.
You would have seen it in a something.
Yeah.
A business, the church, something. They couldn't find nothing. And this was an investigation that took place for more than about 3 to 5 years. Nothing. But when I'm suffering and all everybody really cared is, are you all right? Can you play? I was ineligible for a day. And boy, what we gonna do? I got eligible again. And now it put everybody at ease. Not knowing that, like, bro.
Y'all at ease, I'm not at ease.
Yeah, but I used those, 12 minutes? I used that 40 minutes or 42 minutes on Saturday to inflict what was being inflicted to me. Complete disregard to how I felt. And whoever I was playing, they was gonna feel me. So you're seeing a lot of examples of me using my circumstance, not letting my circumstance use me.
Right.
Jimmy Clausen, Tim Tebow, Urban Meyer, the NCAA.
Dan Mullen.
Man, somebody got to pay for this.
Right.
And this is a peaceful protest, so to speak. I ain't going off the rail and saying like, man, let me tell y'all, bro, y'all doing too much, NCAA. You call them a house, people with reports of ESPN, everybody, CNN, like this was big news. Right. You don't care about my family. People were staking out on my house, asking like, did you do it? Going into stadiums where they disrespecting me by playing Son of a Preacher Man. Like these are facts.
Right.
Oh, scam Newton. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's a whole thing that people ain't thinking about what I went through.
Right.
And I'm telling you, like, bro, that's what I displayed there is no different than what an average black man or black family goes through on a regularity. It may not be through sports, it may be through circumstance. Right. Mom working 2 and 3 jobs to provide, single parent, or the father is not around, or he's trying to provide as best as he can. These are all trauma that I was lucky to use that trauma to put on my shoulder to say, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. This is my way out. I ain't about to be no doctor. I ain't about to be no lawyer. I'm about to be a football player. And I don't care what my circumstance is, I gotta perform and put that compartmentalize that, put that away for these 42 minutes while I show the world I'm the best football player.
The game, the Iron Bowl. You guys go down 24-0. That team is loaded.
That may be the best Alabama team ever.
You guys are in Tuscaloosa. You fall behind 24-0.
Yep.
That was, you say Carolina but that was the game. That was say a Heisman moment. You had a Heisman game. The entirety of the game, from the point that you were down 24-0, could really be your highlights, and you don't need any others.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind? What's the team's psyche at that point in time? You're in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
That's your chiefest rival. That might be the greatest rivalry in college sports. I understand Duke, North Carolina,
Yes.
Ohio State, Michigan, but they're not in state.
Yeah.
And it's divided. You either love Alabama and hate Auburn. You either love Auburn or you hate Alabama. There is no in between.
It ain't no cousins. No, it's bad blood.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. And I think Coach Chizik did a great job leading up into that week, because that always will be the game around Thanksgiving. And school's out.
Right.
That's just the first introduction to what professional sports will be. All we had to do was prepare for that game. You know, training table, workout, watch film, whatever. And he would give us speakers to talk about what that game was like. Now, me being at the University of Florida, I was a part of some rivalries. Georgia, Florida, Florida State, Florida, Miami. I witnessed all of them. They were rivalries, but the Iron Bowl is a little different. It's a different energy. Different energy. I remember going to the game and they had canceled our Tiger Walk. Right. That's when you get off the bus and then you have your fans. And I asked her, I said, why we don't got Tiger Walk? Simple question or simple answer was, it's just not safe. Damn, we in college, man, this amateur sports, right? Man, we was approaching, the stadium, the bus rocking. Rocking. And I remember looking outside, it was a couple who had to be 70 plus. They flicking us off. Damn,
Grandma and Grandpa, they all about it.
Mima and them was flicking us off. And I said, it's that type of game. When I entered the stadium on the field, they throwing, beer bottles and beer on, it's that type of game. All right, I see what we got going. This disrespect is overload. We go down 24. I'm saying, okay, cool. We got to score before halftime. And I'm saying to myself, bro, Cam, if you're going to do anything great, just going to cement your legacy right here. And dare I just make it all about me, because we had unbelievable effort from Nick Fairley, the defense, Terrell Zachary, Darvin Adams, Michael Dyer, Lee Zemba. Like, these guys were a part of that puzzle to get us to it. Now, I got a lot of the credit, but these were the unsung heroes too. And I just remember making it so personal, like, this ain't where we stop at. We got to keep going.
Right.
And as you know, being an athlete, that's what gives you that stamp of approval that we want to hear what your take was.
Right.
What was it like in the locker room? Did you have to grab somebody by their shoulder pads and say, we got 30 more minutes to impact the rest of our lives? What we gonna do? I'm about to barbecue. You gonna get a plate? Let's rock and roll. Them type of stories you can't get by just reporting the news, because it take a different measure of experience. And even though Travis Kelce may be able to be talked to in this type of way, you can't talk to Shannon Sharpe like that. Sometimes you don't even gotta talk to him, you just gotta look. You straight, bro? Those type of connections or Wi-Fi is something that only having the experience in the game can share that. And I did not want that opportunity to be missed, because I was fighting so much more off the field that on the field was just a playground. That was my place of refuge. You can't talk to me, reporter, while I'm playing. I'm at peace, blah, 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 blah. And every time I ran with a vengeance. I wanted to hurt somebody because I was hurt. And I used it as a way to give me my edge.
We both worked with Skip.
Yeah.
You worked with him, I think, a little longer than I have, and we both have given him credit for opening up his platform and allowing us to be who we are, and we could grow our own platforms, become, as you mentioned earlier, businesses of ourselves. What's for the people? I don't know how many people have heard, and I'm gonna follow up after you.
Sure.
Skip, what's he really like? Because I think the thing is, if you've never met him, you just see him on television, you say, okay, that's him and who he is.
Skip's a different beast. I don't know if you can just describe him in one simple way.
You can't.
You can't. This dude's definition of advice is Diet Mountain Dew. This dude was in the 60s and in the 70s running anywhere from 5 to 8 miles a day. Eating the same meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Introducing himself to his now wife and their first date, you will never be more important than my job. Get over that from now or don't bother. I mean, that's his definition of turning her on, I guess. So I'm like, I'm just like, he's a different animal.
Right.
You know, and there are highs and lows that come with him.
Correct.
He knows that. There's highs and lows that come with me. There's highs and lows that come with you and everybody else. And that's the way it goes. But, you know, I'm a man first. And it's about a core decency of appreciation. The reality is that no matter how problematic, and he can be problematic at times, no matter how problematic he can be, the reality is that I wouldn't be where I am today if he didn't give me that opportunity on First Take. And so for me to be where I am and to know that it springboards off of something that he was directly involved in making happen, for me to insult him in any way is just disrespectful, it's wrong, and it's something that I would never do. Now, that don't mean I can't disagree with him.
Oh, absolutely.
That doesn't mean that I can't feel that he's wrong. And anybody like a Jamie Harwich, yourself, and others who know me, have gotten to know me in your case, you know I would tell him he's wrong to his face.
Right.
He knows where I stand. But it doesn't take away my love and appreciation for him and the fact that he will always be a brother from another mother to me.
Yeah.
So I've always made that clear with everybody.
Yeah, it's not often that someone can give you that opportunity. And I've said this several times. For me, I cannot let 6 months ruin 6.5 good years.
Right.
Because sometimes people are willing to throw everything away for one mistake, or one bad comment, or one something like this.
Right.
And even though that was all we were supposed to get, my sister tells me this all the time. Say, Shannon, this was all we're supposed to get. If I about 4 months ago, I had Tabitha Brown.
She's great. I've interviewed her before. She's fantastic.
Stephen A. She had no idea this was going on, so we wrapped the interview, and I'm gonna end it on this one. And I'm taking off my microphone. She says, "Is the mics off?" I said, "Well, I'm taking my mic off. You can take yours off." We took our mics off, and she leans in close to me. She said, "I had a dream last night. God told me it's gonna be okay, and for you to go ahead and do what you need to do." She says, "It's gonna be different, but you need to go on your own."
Yeah.
Now, God told me that. She said, "Now you do what you want to do with it."
Right.
But God she said, "And when I get dreams like this and I'm ever in the person's presence, it's my duty to tell them." A month later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, when she's telling me this, Stephen A., you see how you looking at me? I'm looking at her. How you know what's going on?
Right.
She said, "God told me this last night."
Yeah.
And it's funny that I'm sitting here doing this interview. I did this interview with you, and I needed to tell you this. Once she told me that, I was at peace. Because I'm racking my brain. I'm like, what did I do? Did I say something? Did I offend somebody? I mean, I think I'm doing a great job. She said, be at peace with it.
Yeah. And that's what I told you.
You did.
That's what I told you. Because the reality of the situation is that, you know, I'm not going to apologize. Listen, I got a lot of friends over there. All right? We all know that. I know a lot of people. But that don't mean that what happened to you was fair. Plain and simple. Okay? That ain't the end of the world.
Nope.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
And so, you know, to me, it was just important for us in this industry to stand up and say, yo, he's one of us. You can't let them go out like this. And that was it for me. It was just that simple. You go wherever you want. You want to come first take, fine. You want to go somewhere else, fine. Because I got my crew here at First Take, and I'm not trying to get rid of anybody.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to do this forever. And when it's my time to go, it's my time to go.
Right.
And it's time for somebody else to step up. But as long as I'm here, my attitude was going to be, listen, the people that have been a treasure and a tribute to this industry are the people that I'm going to do all that I can to remind folks this is what they do. I don't want to be one of those dudes that I got these platforms, First Take, and I got my podcast, and I'm doing NBA Countdown, and I got more stuff coming down the line and everything like that. And all I'm talking about is what I'm doing. It's my job to highlight what everybody else is doing too.
You one of the few, Stephen A. Because I know a lot of people that could have opportunities to help somebody, but they want to be the only ninja with money.
No, I don't want that. And I told you this, and I'll tell the audience that I told you this. I said, you might be a First Take for 1 year, you might be a First Take for years to come. It's my responsibility, and I'm dead serious. It's a heart attack. It's my responsibility to make sure that you are more successful with me than you were before you arrived.
That's what you told me.
That's my responsibility. And I'm going to make sure it happens come hell or high water. We ain't going down, brother. We only going up.
No. You know
That's
that,
just
dude.
the way it's going to be.
You know.
That's just the way it's going to be.
Goat man coming.
That's right.
Uncle Stephen A.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
You know?
HBCU is the takeover.
You know, I ain't trying to lose.
No, we don't.
I'm never about that. Anybody that knows me ain't about that. I don't mean no disrespect to nobody. All right?
Y'all heard it.
But
that's him. As good as it gets right here.